Good morning, everybody. How you all doing today? Mikey's back with another snuff review to get my day going. Today, I'm trying one of the classic snuffs you can find out there. Wonderful snuff. We're talking JIP, the original. This is a 5-gram tin, a little bit smaller than the ones you normally see. I normally get 10 grams. Let's see here. Prepared and packed by McChrystal's product. Tobacco product damages your health and is addictive, and it has a little website on the bottom. And then on the back, all we're looking at is the warning label. Warning label. There you go. Alrighty. Give it a couple of taps to settle everything. And this is not a screw lid. This is just a simple slide-on lid. I both love and hate the little slide-on lids. Sometimes they're vacuum sealed and they're really tight, and it takes a lot of effort to get them off of there. However, this one comes off rather easily. That's what you're looking at there. Nice, rich brown, very fine. Has natural tobacco. And this is mentholated. This does have a menthol kick to it. So if you're not into menthol snuffs, which the flavor grows on you, once you start with some light menthol and work your way up until you find your comfort zone. Sometimes guys, when they're first getting started, they grab one of the heavily mentholated snuffs, and yeah, it pretty much wrecks them. So, but yeah. Using my handy dandy crackhead spoon here, pulling some out. Whew. Oh, that'll wake you up. Oh, menthol, tobacco, and a very nice nicotine hit. JIP has some punch to it. Very easy to take. It is a little bit higher on the menthol scale, so if you're just getting started, I recommend it's going with something a little bit lower on the menthol before you get into JIP. But yeah, and when you take this stuff, it's like you're sniffing a flower. That's all there is to it. You don't go, don't honk it in there. You'll pull it all the way up in your sinuses. You'll get burned. It'll be an unpleasant experience. Just like you're sniffing a flower. Just a slight little sniff, just like you're sniffing a flower. You don't have to overdo it with nasal snuff. You get some practice, you'll find your sweet spot, and it'll do pretty good from there. All in all, nasal snuff is one of the oldest forms of tobacco known to exist. When Columbus arrived in the Americas, he noticed the natives would take tobacco leaves, they'd dry them, they'd grind them up into a powder, and they had either sometimes simple, sometimes ornate sticks that they hollowed out, and where the twig came out to, branch out to a V, they would hollow all those out, and they'd do that to take snuff. Sometimes they just pinch it and sniff it. Sometimes they had the little sticks. For the natives, it had both a pleasurable use and it had a lot of ceremonial purposes. Tobacco did. They used it in a lot of their religious ceremonies and various customs and such. The proverbial peace pipe, for example, sharing a smoke among friends as a gesture of peace and goodwill. But yeah, snuff, like I said, it's one of the oldest forms out there. The natives were doing it when Columbus landed, and who knows how long they were doing it for. His sailors on his boat quickly figured, hey, tobacco is pretty cool stuff. They took some over to Europe, and it quickly became a thing among the aristocrats because tobacco was expensive. It costs a lot to send a ship over, load up tobacco, and bring it over. I mean, that was a huge expenditure, so it was something that was originally for the upper class. And the upper class would have ornate snuff boxes. You see them sometimes in old movies or period pieces. Back then, they could pinch out this ornate box and having to sneeze and stuff. And that was primarily an upper class thing. It was not until once travel became well established, tobacco started being grown in places like Africa, and it became more and more common for the middle class to lower class people. And it kind of shifted. It was something that once only the upper tier partook in, and then it became available to the common man, and then the upper tier just kind of, ew, stuff, that's disgusting. And their parents and their grandparents used to snort it all the time. So it's just an interesting way the shift between the classes in tobacco use happened over time. But yeah, some of these snuff recipes, they've been around for hundreds of years. Yeah, some of them are relatively new. Some of the long-time makers, long-time recipes, they've existed in one form or another. Ugh, got myself a sneeze there. Ooh. Ooh. Mikey is awake now. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh. Woo. That's the nice thing about JIP. JIP does have a nice nicotine hit to it, and you definitely feel it. The nicotine hit from Nasal Snuff, it's short and sweet. You get a quick burst of nicotine, and it fades rather quickly, which is why you see some guys who are snuffing. They snuff 2 or 3 times in a 10-minute period or more. Sometimes, it's discreet. It's easy to take. You can get you can pinch it right out of the tin. They make little tap boxes you can do. You can still buy snuff boxes, bottles, all kinds of things. You can use your hand. You can use your pinch. You can use a little spoon like this. This spoon is actually on the big side. This is a larger spoon. This is for like scooping medications or heroin addicts or whatever. They do make smaller ones, so you can get little vials. They have like a tiny spoon in it where you just get small portions out to snuff. There's a whole world of accessories available for Nasal Snuff. But yeah, JIP, nice menthol hit, nice tobacco. It's basically just tobacco, menthol, some oil to hold it all together, a little bit of water, and a little bit of alkalizer to give the nicotine content its thing. But all in all, it's a wonderful product. It does pack a bit of a menthol punch, so if you're just getting started, I would not recommend this for your first time. Start off with something a little milder, a little easier to take. I'd say this is an intermediate snuff. Yeah, it's definitely an intermediate, mainly because of the hit, and it's a very fine, and it's very easy to blow this stuff up all the way up into your sinuses, which can, if you're just getting started, it's not a pleasant feeling. But yeah, snuff has a rich history. It's been with us for millennia, and its most basic form is just ground up tobacco, and from there, sky's the limit on what you can do with it. Pretty much English snuff, the standard has been plain tobacco, a little bit of mineral oil and some water to act as a binder, and then they add various scents and flavorings, like menthol, fruity, flowery, spice. The sky's the limit. So, all in all, Nasal Snuff is one of my favorite ways to take tobacco because it's quick, it's easy, it's convenient, and it's very inexpensive. A tin like this only sets you back a few bucks, and it lasts you a very long time. Unless you are snuffing constantly, this tin right here will last me months, if not a year. So yeah. But yeah, JIP. It's one of the classics. Very good product. Menthol, tobacco, nice nicotine hit. It's a good way to get your day started. It'll wake you up, that is for sure. It's considered one of the classics. JIP, Red Bull, Gawith Original, which is an apricot menthol. That's a good beginner mentholated one. The menthol's not too strong, but unfortunately neither is the apricot. So, all in all, I would put this one in as an intermediate snuff. Very good, easy to take. Once you get used to Nasal Snuff, it's easy to take. If you're just getting started, hold off on this one for a little bit until you get your technique down. You know how to pull it into your nose correctly. Invest in some Kleenex and some handkerchiefs. You're going to need them. But all in all, Nasal Snuff is a wonderful product. Inexpensive, easy to take. I mean, this little $5 Tim, it's about the size. It's about the width of a $50, and it's not maybe ½ inch thick. Fits in the pocket, pretty easy. You can transfer this into a little snuff box or a tap tin if you're so inclined, and enjoy. If you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. I got some links down below. One's from a Patreon page, one's for a Facebook page I started for fans of the page. Go ahead and join up on Facebook. Post pictures of what you're snoozing and snuffing and dipping and chewing and all that fun stuff. I kind of like to see how you guys enjoy your tobacco. Anyway, this is Mikey. This has been JIP, one of the original this is considered one of the standard snuffs out there in the snuff world. Sometime in your snuff adventure, you gotta try JIP. Yeah, mainly because it's pretty darn good. I will catch you all later with another review. Take care. God bless.